That's how it's gonna sit in there. I think that is pretty legit. My name is Zach Ellis and welcome to my journey. I don't know where I'm going or how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to be tearing shit up every step of the way, along with a few friends of course. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going. I'll be building, modifying, repairing, fabricating, and racing every chance I get. Terrifying. But if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to smash the subscribe button and of course, enjoy the video. What's up guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a fire extinguisher into your car. In my opinion, I think the fire extinguisher is one of the simplest things to install in your car. I don't know if there's really a wrong way to have it in your car, but to have it in there is going to be better than not have it, regardless of how you look at it. You know, you put all this time and this money into building your car just to lose it over something small. It could be something simple, you know? So throwing a fire extinguisher in there. This one, I don't know how much I paid for this. I've had it for a while, less than 50 bucks. This is a BC fire extinguisher. I think they typically recommend ABC fire extinguishers, but the A is for like combustibles, so like wood and paper and shit like that. So this should be more than capable. You can get on Summit and get an actual automotive dedicated fire extinguisher, but kind of expensive. I know that's crazy. It's kind of like hypocritical of me to say because I just talked about this as being very important, but then I'm not willing to spend the money. I have one. That's all I care about. With the fire extinguisher, hopefully I can catch the fire before it spreads too much. And this 2-pound bottle should be more than sufficient to do the job. But before we get into the fire extinguisher installation, I'm gonna knock out a quick oil change on the car. The racing season is over and I'd like to get this little bit heavier weight oil out of the car. During the summertime, I run 10W30 in the car just because so much heat gets built up into the car while I'm racing and sitting there in grid. It thins out. So to mitigate that, I run a little bit thicker oil when it's hot out. The highest temperature we've had in the last 2 weeks is about 60 degrees. So I think it's time to go ahead and bump back down to 5W30. So that way in the winter I can cruise around. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into the oil change and then we'll jump right over into the fire extinguisher install. Cool, we got the oil change completed, so we're gonna hop right inside the car and I'll show you what I kind of have planned or what my idea is to get the fire extinguisher actually secured in the car. So the plan that I had to secure this fire extinguisher in my car, I want it to be in the cabin. I think that's my biggest concern. So I have this sheet, well let me move this. I have this sheet of aluminum here. It is, I think it's 40 thousandths thick. So she's thin, she's really thin. 40 thousandths thick, 15 inches from the bend to the end, and then it's roughly 20 inches wide. So what my plan is, obviously this sheet is extremely large. My plan is the 2 bolts that bolt the seat to the car, I'm gonna drill a hole on each side of this vertical plate to run that seat bolt through this plate. That's gonna secure the plate in place so it doesn't have to worry about moving. I'm gonna trim it to be as small as possible, but still do the job of securing the fire extinguisher. So I just spent a few minutes just kind of moving this fire extinguisher all over the place, positioning it in different spots and sliding the seat to see where I think it would work best. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place it over here. With it being here, it's gonna leave most of the floorboard completely open for a passenger's feet to be and not have to worry about kicking this thing. All right. You got the plate out. You can see the 2 grease spots. Basically, the way I picked up the holes, super simple. I put a little grease on the head of the bolt that's in there. I slide the plate up against it. The grease transfers from the bolt onto the metal plate, and then I drill in the center of the grease. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna drill those 2 holes. I'll jump them up. I don't know what size the bolt is. I'm gonna take a fucking shot in the dark. Throw it back in there, bolt it in, and hopefully the holes are in the right spot. Alright, cool. So they got the plate bolted in. It picked up the holes perfectly. This thing is secure now. It's not going anywhere. The only issue that I've found so far is this bend here is about 90 degrees, but the angle of the seat bolts is slightly wider than that, so it's like, I don't know, 100 degrees, 110 degrees, which is making the front of this thing want to lift off the ground. I'm not super concerned with that. I might take this thing out and try to bend this 90 degree bend open just a little bit to help get rid of some of this springiness, but regardless, the plate is in here and it fits pretty well. So the next step, we can go ahead, set up the fire extinguisher mount and find out where we want to bolt this thing down, and then drill the holes to secure the fire extinguisher. All right, so I got the fire extinguisher back in the car here. What I did off camera, because there's just not enough room in the footwell, I placed the fire extinguisher where my ideal location, which is almost exactly where it is now, but straight. It's at a slight angle. When I had it straight, I slid the seat all the way forward. Well, there's like a 2-tier system for the slider that the seat bolts to. When I went all the way forward, the seat made contact with the back of the fire extinguisher and just pushed it over just a little bit. With it being where it is right now, I'm completely happy with that. I even sat in the car and I slid the seat as far forward as I could possibly go, which is like a little bit further back than what my driver's seat is set. And the release handle for the fire extinguisher was still exposed, which is the big thing. Not that I ever raced with my seat all the way forward, but at least I know with the seat as far forward as it would be comfortable for any normal person to ride in, I can still get access to the fire extinguisher. So since I'm happy with its placement right now, I'm going to take my Sharpie, I'm going to trace a little bit of the outline of this mounting tray, and then I'm going to pull the whole entire assembly back out of the car so I can locate the holes and bolt that thing down. Go ahead and get this thing marked up and attached. So now that I've got the fire extinguisher bolted up to the base of this, I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to trim this so that there's not so much material left over. I think what I'm going to end up doing is basically coming from over here, I'm going to come straight across, have a curve up, and then I'm just gonna round off the top there. Just so all of this will be gone and you can put your feet on the carpet. You don't have to worry about your foot sliding on this. Cool, so I think I got it laid out the way I like it. You see here, I'm gonna cut all of this out that's on the outside of this line, mainly because this is wasted material. I put a radius on this corner, so I'll cut up to that corner, straight across. I'll follow this radius, it's gonna go straight to the top, and then another radius. So from here, all of this material is gonna be gone. This side over here, mainly what it's on is gonna prevent this thing from whipping back and forth. And then the two holes together is gonna hold it in position from any other direction of movement. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get out the cutoff wheel and start cutting this material. I will say that the cutoff wheel is not the safest thing to use to cut aluminum like this, but it's what I have, so I'm gonna do it. It's not my first time doing it, I've done it 1,000 times. But for those at home, if you decide that you wanna do something like this, cutoff wheel, eventually it will get caked up with the aluminum because the aluminum gets hot and soft, I guess, malleable. And it'll cake inside your cutoff wheel, and then the cutoff wheel becomes unbalanced and will explode. So if you have a bandsaw, that is technically the right way to do this, or even like a body saw for like auto body work, which I have none of that here. So I'm going to use the cutoff wheel, and once I get it cut out roughly, I'll hop over to the grinding wheel to clean it all up, and then we'll get it put into the car for the last time. Alright, we got the bracket all finished up. It's looking pretty good. I am in the future going to powder coat this. I just don't have time to do it today. So here it is, all finished up for the most part at least. Just cut the big section out there so that you can actually put your feet on the floor or on the carpet. I guess all that's left now is to go ahead and throw it into the car. So here I am, feet straight out, no issues. I don't have any leg concerns. It's touching my pant leg down there on the bottom side, but who cares? Now I am all the way in the furthest back position, so this is kind of not where anybody would be sitting. Right here is a comfortable seating position for me. It's just past the center position as far as adjustability goes. Then if you look down underneath my legs, you see that there's no concern with clearance. If I want to pick one foot up, I can. I can cross my feet. I can even put both feet over here and still have plenty of room to move my feet around. Overall, I'm super happy with it. I'm actually going to hop into the driver's seat and show you what it looks like if I had to actually grab this fire extinguisher. All right, so I'm sitting in my seat like I was driving the car. Vroom, 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 vroom. The passenger seat is right where I had just had it set, so a little bit past the center adjustment point. Say the car gets on fire, I have to pull over, I can simply reach right here, pop that, and the fire extinguisher is out. So I am tickled to death with that. It's grabbing it is super simple. When I'm racing, I gotta move my light though because it'll fall. I typically have the seat all the way back like that. I don't really know why. Sitting in that passenger seat for the first time, it is extremely crowded over there, which I guess I just don't notice it here because I'm driving. But seat all the way back, you can see, I can see the whole entire fire extinguisher, which is good. So driving, car catching on fire, I can simply pop that thing right out and we're ripping. All right, so I got the fire extinguisher completely installed, as you guys saw. I'm completely happy with it. I think it looks killer. The usability is perfect. I mean, whether my seat's up in a comfortable seating position for a passenger or if it's all the way back where I normally race with it at, it's easy to get to the fire extinguisher. With the seat all the way forward, you have about 4 or 5 inches between the front of the seat and the dash, which I don't see anybody sitting that far forward. Either way, with a passenger in the car, if there's a fire, I'm gonna be like, yo, grab the fire extinguisher and give it to me. That's just a realization of what it would be. It's not like my passenger just gonna be sitting there like an idiot. Or at least I hope not. But yeah, I'm super happy with the way this turned out. I am going to powder coat it in a future video, I think. Just the raw aluminum. It does look cool, but I think I'd rather have it sealed up because eventually that aluminum will start to corrode and then it's going to be like aluminum dust everywhere. So hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully it kind of give you an idea of what you can potentially do with your car. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll catch you in the next one.